know you'll get something out of this if you have internet access at your house. And I get the feeling that you do because you're both online with me this morning. So Jennifer, what do you see now? What do you see in that picture in the screen that I have shared?
The house.
All right. Now I'm going to put my cursor on a device. Do you know what that device is called?
No.
Okay. That is called a router, an internet router. Now, the way most of us have internet access in our house these days is you buy the service from a company like Comcast or AT&T or Google Fiber, and they install it at your house, and then it is served up to your house by a device similar to this one called a modem. You ever heard that term, modem? Anybody?
No.
All right, so a modem brings the internet to your house. The router then distributes the internet to all the rooms in your house. So what you see here is a router's footprint, if you will. That orange circle
Yeah.
shows you the range of the router's broadcast. That shows you how many or how high and how far the internet can be served in this house through that router. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So what does that picture suggest to you about the left side of this house? Do you notice how the circle doesn't extend over to the left side of the house?
Yeah.
All right. That says that the router has a limited broadcast range. That router, as pictured, can only serve the room that it's in, the room below it, the room above it, and kind of that hallway in the middle of the house. That's probably the stairwell. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So what does this room do for internet access? And what does this room do? What happens to those rooms? They probably don't get quite as much internet access. They probably get some, but the signal's not as strong. Maybe the download speeds are not as fast. Can you picture that now? Does that make sense to you? Have you ever experienced that?
Uh. Yes. I guess.
Yeah, you're in certain parts of the house and the internet is doing fine. You're in other parts of the house that's not doing well at all. You ever experienced that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's some things you can do about that, and I'm sharing this with you because, see, this models my house very well. This is my office, and I have the internet modem and the router in my office. So the room right above my office is our bedroom. We have pretty good internet signal in there. We don't have a basement, so that tells me all I'm doing is broadcasting the internet to the earthworms and the termites in the ground. The room the room behind my office is our garage, and I have surprisingly strong internet signal in my garage. But when am I ever in my garage using my internet? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now this room is my wife's office. And my wife is a professor. She's a statistics professor at Georgia State University. So she has as much need for internet access as I do, but her office is not reached at all by our router. And my daughter, who is in first grade at Dunleith Elementary, my daughter usually takes her virtual classes up here in my wife's office. So she doesn't really get very good internet. And the two of them are both trying to get access to the internet through my router. So they both were having trouble getting on because they're already in the worst spot in the house. And then they're both competing with each other to try to get on the internet. Do you kind of see the problem there?
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, Imani. How you doing?
Good.
All right. We're talking about internet service and broadcast range as pictured in this little diagram here. This diagram kind of models my house,
Mhm.
and the device that I'm pointing to here is my internet router. It's one of the two key pieces in your internet system. The other is a device called a modem that you would get from Comcast or AT&T, Google Fiber. The router is responsible for distributing whatever signals come in from the modem throughout your house, so that if you're in this room up here, you can get internet. If you're in the basement, you can get internet. The orange cloud or the orange circle shows that this router only effectively covers about half of this house. And if you're over on the other half, you're kind of out of luck. And my wife's office is over here in this area that's not covered by this orange cloud. So that has created a problem for me. Do you see that problem?
Mhm.
All right, so here's a solution that a lot of people have been implementing over the last few years. This is called a mesh network. And a mesh is a combination of different objects or patterns or areas. And in layman's terms, what you're doing here is, see all of these blue circles?
Mhm.
These are additional routers that you put throughout your house. And every router that you place will have its own circle. And if you're within that circle, you'll be able to get your internet access through that router the same way I'm able to get internet access through the router that's sitting in my office. Do you kind of see that situation?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And you see how that would create a better situation for my wife's office upstairs, and my daughter when she's in my wife's office, my daughter when she's in her room. This is a really neat solution, but there's also a bit of a trick to this kind of solution. People are selling these solutions for anywhere from $200, $300, $400, where you buy this package, and in that package, you're going to have several different routers. You put those routers in different places in your house, and you have very good internet access. Would you buy something like that if you needed it?
No.
No.
Why not?
Too expensive.
Okay, that's a good reason to not buy it. That's a really good reason to not buy it, actually. I chose to not buy this solution, but I think I've been able to bootleg it, if you will, by doing a little workaround. You understand what I'm saying? A workaround, as opposed to paying $300, $400, $500 to do what they did. I did something else that kind of gets the same thing done.
Mhm.
All right. All these are routers. So let me go back and look at this picture. See, my idea was, well, if this router is not strong enough to cover anything outside of this area, why don't I just get another router just like this one and put it over here? And if I need more coverage in the basement, why don't I just get another router and put it down here? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Now this is what I did, and here's my router. That's my router. That's the Asus RT N66U. That part's not that important, but this router is referred to as the Dark Knight, and gamers love it. Do you know why they call it the Dark Knight?
No.
Doesn't it kind of look like Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it the Dark Knight. So gamers love it because when it came out, and see, this router is probably at least 7 or 8 years old, but when it came out, it was the fastest thing going and the strongest thing going and broadcast the strongest signals. It was just great. Now, the only thing wrong with it now, if you will, is it's a little older. But to me, that's a great thing, because what does that mean about its price, Ivan, if it's a little older?
It's cheaper.
Oh boy, it's cheap. Cheap, 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 cheap. How much do you think it costs nowadays?
Like $150.
Oh no, this router costs $30, man. $30. Now the first one I bought, which is about 4 years ago, I think I paid $50 for the first one. I bought 3 of them last week, and I paid $30 a piece. So I paid $90 for the 3 that I bought last week. And then what I did was I created what you see in this picture using this router and just putting it in different places in the house. And it worked. I'm proud to say it actually worked and worked quite well. And I have happy customers all over my house now. My wife and my daughter, they're able to get on and do what they need to do when they need to do it. And I paid $100 instead of paying $300, and I'm all right with that. Y'all all right with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So like I say, every day I'm trying to show you something like this because if you're in geometry, Ivan, you see circles, don't you?
Yeah.
And each of these circles has a radius and a diameter that would describe in physical terms how wide an area this circle could cover. Now, since you're in geometry, you will also encounter a three-dimensional version of the circle called the sphere that would model this even better because your house is a three-dimensional object, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this circle in 2 dimensions, in 3 dimensions, this circle would have a length, a width, and a height that would go into your house and out the back side, and then through your house and out the front side. And that shows you, that lets you see in a picture what the internet looks like and what coverage looks like in an internet situation. Did that tell y'all anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Good. Good. Then does anybody have any questions or anything that they need?
No.
Everybody caught up in their classes?
Almost.
All right. Jennifer, what's the longest side of a right triangle called?
Is it the hypothesis?
It is. It is.
Okay.
Do you remember which 2 legs in the right triangle are used to compute the sine?
No.
Okay, that's fair. So go check that out today now so you'll be prepared when I spring this on you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Ivan, can you name a 3-dimensional triangle, so to speak? What's the 3-dimensional triangle called? You out there, Ivan?
Sorry, my internet messed up.
Okay. All right. Did you hear the question?
No.
What's a 3-dimensional triangle called?
A pyramid.
There you go. There you go. All right. Imani,
Mm.
if I have 2 numbers and I can multiply them to equal 49, and they're the same number, what is that number?
2 numbers that equal 49.
2 numbers I can multiply to give me 49, and they're the same number.
7.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Now, hopefully you each see what I'm doing there, right? I know kind of where you should be in your class, and I'm just giving you a little brain check to make sure that you know that I know, and then to make sure that I know that you know. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So look for me to be doing that every now and then. It's never anything too deep or serious. And if you ever come across any problem in your classes that you want me to talk about during our meetings, I would like for you to take a picture of it with your phone and just text it to my teacher's cell phone. And then I'll pull it up and look at it the same way we're looking at this. And even if you've gone through that class already, or you haven't gone through that class already, we'll have a discussion about the problem that will benefit everybody that's in the audience. Does that sound cool?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, y'all, if you have nothing further, we'll go ahead and sign off, and I will see y'all bright and early tomorrow during the second block.
Okay.
Okay, everybody be well now. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.